to KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland and streaming online at www.kgpc969.org. This is the Anything Can Happen show with Kenya Asa, Cat Fitness, and our guest host today, Darren from Financial State of Mind, y'all. Woo! Darren, you ready today?
Part two. I'm about as ready as I'm going to be.
I'm going to throw you an alley-oop throughout this show. I'm going to see if you catch him this time. You know, because
this don't ask me who I call for financial advice.
Don't ask you who you call for financial advice. No, because you call yourself. You don't need to call anybody for financial advice.
Not my shout out to my boy Bear, who I don't call.
Man,
master of accountant. Shout out to my boy Troy.
Come on, you didn't shout out none of your people. I threw an alley oop. You could have named the whole crew.
I said that I had a team.
Yeah, but you didn't want to say nobody's name about who was part of that team.
Shout out to my OG mentor Bear. He's a brother who has a master.
And he's a brother.
Masters of accounting, MBA in accounting.
Man, I know he hit you up after the show. Like, you didn't hit me up. You didn't name drop me one time. No, drop my social media.
Shout out to my boy Troy, who's literally brought out Obama on stage as a host.
Dang.
Wow.
So these are the people who teach me everything.
You don't act like you just gonna sneak into the studio.
What you talking about? I have. First of all, I've been here the whole time.
You've been here
the
whole time.
I've been here the entire time.
It's Brooklyn in the house.
Just because I'm quiet. I'm silent but deadly.
Ooh.
Wait, who brought in one of my favorite albums?
What album?
She was high for the money. Who brought her in?
Come on.
Who brought her in?
What's that about?
Man.
Who brought her in? Because that's my girl.
That's your
my
girl?
I know y'all too young for that. I know
Hold on. These youngsters, maybe to my side, might be too young. We were just talking about some rich history. But we gotta make this show. We gotta get straight to the point because this is part 2 of Walk by Faith, not by Sight. We got brother DeMarvelous from Infinite Audio in the building, y'all.
Yes,
I was just looking at the first time on the website. Oh, and you know what's weird? Okay, I can't hear myself. That's probably why I'm screaming.
You can't hear yourself.
I cannot hear myself.
Well, I can hear you.
Okay.
As long as we can hear you.
As long as you guys can hear me. And I just, is that because I have the wrong headphones on, Darren? Darren is like trying to,
I'm trying to be professional.
Thank you. You're trying to be, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, because I always use those. Anyway, and it was just reminding me of that. So it's funny that this is,
part 2. Here we are.
Last
time you weren't here.
No, I know.
You're such a busy
I was looking at the picture and I was like, man, was not there, and now here I am.
Come on. She is. She's in the building now.
She had to be here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we left off at such a great point in the conversation, talking about how you walked into this great opportunity. By just putting it out into the universe and letting people know that you're back in the music world. But a lot has happened.
Oh my God.
since we actually
that's a heavy sigh, sir. That's a very heavy sigh.
We got so much to unpack today.
Oh my
God.
We got so much to unpack today.
I like unpacking.
So one of the things that I want to bring up, like, we were actually supposed to have you on the following week, and then you had to reschedule.
100%.
You're like, Cat, my bad. Family things came up. I got to reschedule. I'm not going to be able to come in the studio.
Right.
I said, not an issue, brother. I believe in divine timing.
Facts.
And I was like, just go back in, reschedule, and we'll catch up next time, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of things happen. One of the big things is because, I'm the health component on this show, right? You're like, brother.
We're getting straight into that.
We're getting straight into that.
Okay.
We're going to tap into the health aspect of it.
Uncomfortable details.
Yeah.
No, this is very comfortable.
Yeah, I was about to say. No, I was about to say.
So,
I don't know what's going on.
So brother DeMarv, last show, we're going live, the whole 9. He was like, I need to drop some. I need to drop some weight, right?
Yeah.
He was like, I am worth $1 million, but I don't look my worth right now.
I don't look my worth. I don't look my worth, Cat.
So you said you were going to change some things nutritionally.
Yeah.
So can you tell the viewers like a couple things that happened within this last month?
Let's just start off with a bang. Let's just flat out start off with a bang.
I want to start off with a bang, but I also want to ask you, what made you say that about yourself? Was it because a lot of people are feeling thick and fine, right?
Yeah.
Were you not feeling your best? Do you know what I mean? Or were you just kind of looking at yourself saying, I can do better than this?
Or my clothes too tight.
There we go. That's one.
My jeans
that's
don't
one right
fit.
there.
My-
Okay.
anything with buttons don't fit.
That's the worst.
Listen, as somebody who did the entire pandemic in stretchy pants, I feel you. Okay.
100%.
I feel you.
100%. You know what was huge for me was I've always tried to drop weight, right?
Mhm.
And this brother over here, I saw him at the beginning of his journey.
Yeah, he was right there with me.
Wow.
We worked in corporate America together as I was losing the weight.
He was bringing his lunch in to work, and I was like, "Oh, that's
nice.
cute."
Oh,
Let's see how long
funny.
this is going.
See, we don't know too many people that talk about from whence
He
you
sat
came.
in a
From whence you
cubicle,
came.
like
Wow.
right beside me while I did this whole transformation.
Dang.
He was there the entire time.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
he had little Ziploc bags and Tupperware, and I'm like, "That is so cute. I wish you the best.
Yeah.
I wish you the best with your little chubby self."
See, he didn't know Cat prior to being Chubby Cat.
That
Yeah.
is
So I knew who I was deep down inside, but I had to introduce that person to Brother D.
Yeah,
Right?
Wow.
And I knew it was going to take time, and I knew, through that process, it was going to be some haters out there. And I think DeMar was one of those haters initially. And not only DeMar, because I had people that were close friends. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, because I also had close friends. Because one of my best friends, as you know, Joe, that worked with us at Comcast.
Yeah, bring him under here too.
Joe, he's known me for 20 plus years. He bet me $100 that I wasn't going to be able to lose the weight.
No.
That's hater talk, right there.
That's one of my good best friends. Bet me $100 that I wasn't going to be able to lose.
Because this doesn't sound like hater-ish. It just sounds like a lack of belief. But that sounds like hater.
I agree, 100%.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Me, I'm like, I done seen this before, but I do wish you luck, because I hope you reach your goals.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I hope you reach your
Okay,
goals.
okay, okay.
But I saw him at the beginning of his journey. And, at the time I wasn't, really too big. I wasn't small, but I was fine. I was very happy in my skin. And so he was much more bigger than I was, and he's shorter too. So he looked like a little minion.
No.
I did, y'all.
He looked like a minion.
That time
went all the way there.
He looked like a little minion, And so he used to wear these bright yellow vests all the time too. So that was my little minion friend.
Wow, this is a cat that I need to know.
Yeah.
Are
This is
these
a cat that I need
pictures
to
of
know.
I think there's pictures.
Right.
Oh,
we
need to
I
see
got
these.
pictures. You guys show OG Comcast pictures. I got pictures of you doing push-ups though.
100%.
When you said had the basketball contest right there in the middle of the office.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about none of that right now.
Yeah.
That's not important. We're gonna get straight to the point.
Yeah.
Like you said, when Kenya came, we gotta get straight to the point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw him at the beginning of his journey. And then over the years, I became a big minion.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a little minion. I became a big minion.
All right, so you're calling yourself out.
Yeah, 100%. I do that very well, so can't nobody else do it.
Right.
That's
I
right.
heard that. Okay, I heard that.
And so, I've tried numerous times to lose weight, and I don't know. You hear people say the older you get, the harder it is to lose it, and all the other kind of stuff. I'm like, no, you just don't work hard enough, And so I started realizing I just wasn't dropping weight as fast as I normally would, and I was doing everything I felt was right. I was in a calorie deficit, but I had these ridiculous hunger pains, and I would go on these crash diets, and I would try to do, this diet. I would try to do keto, and I would try to do that diet, and nothing worked. And I just got bigger and bigger. I'm like, wait, I'm eating less, but getting bigger. Something's not working.
Yeah. It's not adding up.
It's not adding up. And so the last time I came up here, I think I was working out for a few weeks, and I came up here and we had the interview, and I saw myself on camera. I said, "Oh, that is bad. That is bad. That is bad." And so I told Kat, I said, "Yo, I'm getting ready to do some work. I'm getting ready to do some work." And I didn't tell him at the time, but I took a page out of his book. Finally, after preaching to me for 5-6 years,
At least.
I took a slice out of his book, and I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna take a slice out of your book. I'm not gonna become 1,000% vegan, but I'm not gonna eat that much meat. I'm not gonna eat that much meat, and I'm not gonna put that many carbs in my body. And so my diet, well, starting off with the bang, like I was getting ready to do, since the last time I was here, I've lost 19.5 pounds.
Ooh.
Wow.
Come on.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Come on.
Okay, wait. So let's talk about how many months ago was that?
It was exactly 7 weeks ago.
Exactly. So just like a month and
Yeah.
yeah.
A month is 4 weeks.
A
add
month and 3
3.
weeks. A month and 3 weeks. So almost 2 months.
Almost 2 months.
So 19 pounds in
less-
almost 2 months.
Uh-huh.
In 2 months. That's
Talk to the
incredible.
people.
Come
on.
Talk to the people because you know they want to know.
Of course they want to know. So
Mhm.
19.5 pounds. So what I did was, you know what really helped me? I told Kat this as well. I watched a lady by the name of Barbara O'Neill. She's like a holistic nutritionist in Australia. And so, ironically, she was saying a lot of the same things that Kat has been telling me right here in the United States.
Oh,
Right next to me.
Right.
And so I said, you know what? I don't want to give up meat completely because I love my steak.
Uh-huh.
I love my ribs.
Right.
I love my burgers.
Mhm.
But I just can't do it like I like to do it. And so right now, my current diet is all of my protein comes through the form of liquid and also comes through the form of powder. And I do smoothies and shakes, and they taste really, really good. They taste like desserts. But when I'm eating throughout the day, I just eat when I get hungry. I eat all fruits and vegetables, fruits and vegetables all day long. When I need protein, I make me a really, really cool smoothie. Sometimes it's peanut butter banana. Every smoothie has spinach and kale in it. At least half.
That's
my bottle
actually
has
my
spinach and kale.
favorite is peanut butter banana
Yeah.
with some spinach or kale
Yes.
or both or some sort of green powder or something. But spinach is my favorite for blending.
Yes.
It blends the best.
It blends
Yes,
the best
it
does.
because you can't taste it, but you still get all the nutritional
That's
benefits.
Exactly.
right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so I do probably about 2 or 3 smoothies a day. Sometimes I do all strawberry. I do peanut butter banana. Sometimes I do strawberry banana. Whatever I got the taste for. Half of it is like protein. The other half is like almond milk and veg. You know, so I just whatever I got the taste for, that's what I do, right? But I only eat 1 serving of meat if I eat a serving of meat per day.
Per day. So
Yeah,
one serving per day.
I eat 1 serving of meat. That serving is probably around 6 to 8 ounces. Sometimes it's 10 ounces, depending on how I feel. But I like to eat it at lunch. So I eat it at lunch and I have something very light for dinner, right? And so every day I wake up feeling good and I feel light. You see what I'm saying? And so
And it doesn't sound like you are doing the type of and I don't like to say the word diet because people have a bad connotation to that.
Yeah.
But the kind of lifestyle change
Exactly.
and
That's what we're looking to
alteration
do.
really of your lifestyle that doesn't make you feel lack. Right? Like you are like you wake up in the morning and you're like, dang, I sure wish I could have some.
no,
You know, right.
It's not like that. I'm literally, whenever I get hungry, I eat, right? What did you tell me the other day? You're not on a diet when you're eating right. You see what I'm saying?
Lifestyle changes.
And it's lifestyle changes. So I eat as much fruits as vegetables. If I feel like eating a whole 2 cups, a whole bowl of spinach, and I just eat a whole bowl of spinach. If I feel like eating
When have you ever
berries
seen
and strawberries, I just eat it whenever I want to.
When that,
I'm not on a calorie deficit. I'm just eating when I'm hungry.
exactly. When have you ever heard a person, you know, and I'm not trying to knock down anybody that's overweight, but anybody that's been obese and it's like, man, all those dang fruits and vegetables have got me 300-400 pounds.
It never happened.
It has never
It
happened.
never happened.
I've never seen nobody, right?
It's never happened.
So if you think about it from that standpoint, it's like, well, if we reverse engineer this, if I want to lose weight, I got to do the opposite of what helped me gain all this weight.
Right.
And that's if I do want to say this.
Because some people want to gain weight.
Well, some people want to gain weight, but also some people, whatever their weight they are, either, you know, a thin body type or a bigger body type, some people just happen to be happy in their body.
In their body. That's
And,
important.
You
and
gotta be happy.
if you feel good, then that's all that really
That's
matters.
key.
You do have to be aware of, I feel like, and I shouldn't say have to because I don't care what y'all do, okay? But you should consider being aware of any health things that are going on with your body.
100%.
And so,
Right.
so that's just the thing. When we're young, we really feel invincible and like nothing can hurt us.
Yeah.
But as we get a little bit older, you know, things will start to hurt.
That's a fact.
I remember I got my
change with the
first,
time.
I got my first time my back ever threw out. I was doing
Pause.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I was standing. I didn't stand up. I just want to be clear. I did not stand up. I was already standing.
Yeah.
I did not move a muscle, and my back just flew out.
Wow.
And I was 30.
Jeez,
Okay,
Yeah.
I was 30, and so I was like, "Is this the beginning of the end?" I'm like, "Oh my god!" So that's just the thing. So whatever you're doing now as a younger person, right? Be mindful that these habits are going to come with you as you get older, and then understand that you will reap the consequences if you are allowing yourself to be less than mindful and cautious and loving and caring, because your body will love you the way that you love your body.
Come on, fact. It's
You know.
reciprocal.
Right.
And
It's a two-way street.
on the other side of that street, your body will tear you down if you tear your body down.
Right.
Your
It's
body, but
reciprocal.
it's tit for tat, people.
Tit for tat.
It is tit for tat.
It's
Okay.
tit for tat.
And one thing I want to add too is like you can be happy with your body and your size, and you can look quote unquote healthy, but do you actually feel healthy?
You gotta
And
feel.
the one thing that I learned on my weight loss journey is what gave me the determination to keep the weight off, and keep on my lifestyle change and diet was the physical feeling. My mind was less clouded. I felt more energetic. I wasn't getting random jolts of pain, or I wasn't feeling sluggish as much.
Right.
I've noticed a difference just with, you don't have to gain weight to feel that.
No.
Right.
You eat a
No,
couple-
you sure don't.
You eat a good amount of sugar.
Yeah.
You know,
Inflammation.
inflammation. Like you eat a good amount of white bread and stuff like that, and that could be enough just to throw you off for a couple of days. You can gain a pound or two.
That's a fact.
Well, and also you can, like you just said, Darren, and Darren is a young person, right? Like Darren,
we
Darren
all are
is,
young people in the studio.
well, Darren is very young, okay, and so, you know, if you can start kind of feeling the results of how you're eating at a really young age, then that's something to take a look at, because as you get older, like I remember, I didn't even know, I thought I felt good
Right.
when I was trying to get pregnant at the age of 42, right? Or 41. I had my baby at 42. And I thought I felt great. And then everybody knows this about me. Most of y'all out there know that I was having fertility issues. I went to a holistic specialist. I went to an acupuncturist, and in 6 weeks I was pregnant. But before the 6 weeks, I was like, good Lord, I feel amazing. Like I felt 20 years younger, you know, and for those of you out there that don't know, I'm coming up on 56. My birthday's coming up in 2 months.
Look at you.
And
Glowing.
and I was like, how is it that just eating differently, which is what my acupuncturist made me do, took me off of rice and all these other things, anything that had sugar in it, every single solitary thing that could possibly have sugar in it, she took me off of, and then, you know, took me off of meat and blah, blah, blah. And I said, this is my last ditch effort. I'm either going to get pregnant now or it's just not going to happen, because I'm getting up there. Right. And it was amazing, the difference in the way that I felt. You know, I was like, did I just run to my car? Like, I don't run. I'm not a runner. Like, what just happened? I was like, gotta get to my car. And like, what just happened? So it's really about the way that you feel, like you said, Darren.
Right. So, to the second half of this, because not only did that happen within the last 7 weeks, it was an accident that happened within the last week.
Yeah.
That we're sitting here with an angel right now.
We can definitely get into that. I'm gonna say one more thing in regards to
The health aspect.
The health aspect. This is really, really big. Once I finally listened to you, right, and I was listening to Barbara O'Neill, and if you guys out there, like, really go check out Barbara O'Neill and her philosophy about nutrition. Like, it'll just make perfect sense. Yeah. And she talked about like the digestion process, right, and how long it takes to digest certain things, right? And she also talked about your liver and your body can only work at a certain rate in order for you to continue to breathe while it breaks things down, because if it overworks, then your liver goes bad, your system shuts down. So regardless of how much you eat, your liver is only going to break down so much per day.
Yeah.
So if you keep adding in those ridiculous carbs, you keep adding in those solid meats, your liver and your body is going to say, okay, well, you can keep bringing it in, but that don't mean we're going to move it out any faster.
You're
And
overloading
so
your
because I can
system.
only,
Right.
So what we're going to do, we're just going to store it everywhere. We're going to store it in your face. We're going to store it in your neck. We're going to store it in your chest. We're going to store it in your hips. We're going to store it in your muffin top, right? And so it stores until it can get to it, right? And so once it gets around to it, it realizes you bought more stuff in here and we ain't finished breaking this stuff down yet. And so it just continues to build over the course of time. And that's where you see the things in myself. I can't talk about nobody else. I can just talk about me because people get offended these days. But me, that's where I saw my double chin coming.
Yeah.
Me, that's why I saw, my chest sticking out a little bit further than, my C cups.
Yeah.
Oh, am I
cups.
supposed to only have one chin?
Just me, and so it's like you start to see that being stored.
Yeah.
And once that's being stored, your body's going to get to it eventually. So we have to help our body with that digestion process and bring in the things that are going to be more fluid, right? And so it's the fruits and vegetables and the minerals, right? And the proteins and the liquid proteins and the powder proteins that's going to be able to be easily digestible for your body. And so that's why the red meat isn't just kind of hanging out for days on end while you're bringing in more meat and while you're bringing in more donuts and while you're bringing in more cakes and more pastries and more waffles and more chicken and more Roscoe's, right? And so your body's like, bro, we're done. You see what I'm saying? And so
we're going on strike right now.
We're going on strike right now. So that's the beautiful thing. So just eat the foods that are going to be easily digestible and you won't be bloated. You're going to realize that you're getting the minerals that you need.
You're getting the fiber you need too.
Yeah, the fiber that you need. You're going to have a lot of bowel movements. You're going to your bedroom is going to be the bathroom at the beginning of the process. But 19.5 pounds since I decided, hey, I'm only going to eat one serving of meat. My protein is going to come from liquids and powders, and we eat fruits and vegetables all day and drink 1 gallon of water. As simple as that, and I've lost 19.5 pounds. So shout out to you.
Come on. Let's get it,
Wow.
But you wouldn't be able to give this testimony, unless you were here. Because last week, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Last week.
Wow.
Can you tell us a little bit about what happened last week? Because last week was, man, could have been a whole different show, episode.
I've been emotional all week, man. I done cried several times throughout the week, but just tears of joy. I'm not supposed to be sitting here right now with you guys having this conversation on the Anything Can Happen show. So I'm a bowler, as you know.
Yeah.
You still haven't beat me yet.
I've let him get away with a couple of wins, y'all.
I'm a bowler, and that's what I do outside of that's my favorite.
Outside your $1 million business.
I love bowling. That's one of my favorite hobbies, bowling and basketball, right? And so I bowl in different tournaments around, the states. A majority of them are in the California area. And so I had a Reno tournament, and I went up there and I drove up to Reno. And the Warriors played that day, and I was supposed to leave Sunday morning, and I didn't end up leaving. All my partners, they left. My partner caught a flight back to the crib. The other two partners, they drove back early, and I worked out that morning because I'm like, if I drive home, I'm not going to work out after this drive. So I have to work out now. So I just worked out in the morning. And by the time I finished my workout, I was like, man, well, if I hit the road now,
it's going to be traffic.
It's going to be traffic, but I'm going to miss the Warriors game.
Yeah.
So I might as well just stay here at GSR and enjoy myself and watch the game and also play some blackjack.
Yeah.
And so I stayed up there at GSR, end up leaving later on that evening, later on that night. So I hit the road. I made about 15 minutes into my commute. I hit a patch of fog, right? And I have to say this is my fault, right? Because my mechanic changed out my lights, my headlights and my low beams about 1.5 years ago, and he put the wrong year on it, and so they weren't working properly. My procrastinating self was like, I get around to it. Right. 6 months goes by, you completely forget your low beams don't work.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so I'm driving through the mountains, man, and I hit a patch of fog and I try to turn on my low beams. Now there's no lights on 80. It's just pitch black dark for a huge stretch of time. And you're going through the mountains. Why that's the case, I have no idea.
Right.
But I hit a patch of fog and I turn on my low beams. They don't work. I'm like, okay, I turn on my high beams. But when I turn on my high beams, it's like there's a sheet, a white sheet on my windshield.
Yes.
And so I'm like, man, I can't see anything. So I turn back my regular lights and I still can't see anything. And then I turn on my high beams again. When I turned on my high beams, all I seen was a guardrail. When I say my soul left my body, because all I had been seeing was 100-foot drops, 200-foot drops.
Jesus.
And so I'm like, this is really getting ready to happen. I smashed straight through the guardrail and I started dropping. And it's so crazy because in such a short span of time, you have a billion thoughts. I'm thinking about my family. I'm thinking about my friends. But the thing that I couldn't stop thinking about the most was I could not believe. I kept saying to myself, I can't believe this is the way you died. I can't believe this is the way your story ends. This seems like a sick joke. This is the way you die. I thought I would die in my sleep someday or something like that. I don't know. But I didn't think it would be tragic. I didn't think it would be me going off a cliff and falling and dying to my death. And so
like something out of a movie.
It's something out of a movie, man. And so that was the worst, man. Like I still play it over and over again in my head. The airbags deployed and I'm dropping. And after I realized that there was nothing I can do about it, I didn't want to die anxious. I didn't want to die panicking. So I had to become at peace with my death. And so once I said, you know what, I'm going to be at peace with it. There's nothing I can do. I've had an incredible life. It's just time. It's my time. So I just held the steering wheel with both of my hands. I closed my eyes and I put my chin in my chest and just waited for the moment, waited for the impact. And there was a huge nosedive. I hit the back and then I dove into the side of another mountain. Now, I didn't know any of this because it's pitch black dark. So I don't know where I'm at. But I knew the fall was shorter than what I was anticipating. And so I opened up the door. I couldn't find my cell phone. My cell phone was somewhere in the car. And let me put this out there for everybody. Once I hit that patch of fog, my music came down. My cell phone was in my passenger seat. You see what I'm saying? I had all the energy in the world. I wasn't distracted driving. I was 100% alert. And the thing that scares me the most was the fact that I did everything right, but still it was my time to go down that cliff. That's scary. That's really, really scary. So I opened up my door and I can't see anything. So I like kind of put my foot out and swing it around to make sure there's surface below me. I didn't feel anything. So I'm like, at this point, I can't see anything and I can't feel anything. So I don't know if I'm like hanging off a cliff. I don't know what's going on.
Jesus. I mean, you're sitting here in front of me and this whole story is making me so anxious. It's almost like, did he make it? Did he? Oh, yes, he made it.
Yeah, right. I'm here.
Oh,
so obviously I made it, but I put my foot out and I don't feel anything. So I got to find my cell phone. But as I look for my cell phone, I have to move slow, right? Because I don't want to tip or anything like that. And so my cell phone was on the dashboard in the corner on the right-hand side. So I found it and I grabbed it and I turned on my cell phone light and I looked outside and my car was bridged over a creek.
A creek?
A creek, yes.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. So I get out. I try to get out and I see a trucker with a light at the top where I fell from. And he said, "Hey, are you alive?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm alive. I'm alive." He said, "Hey, I'm just letting you know, I saw you go off the cliff. I called CHP. They're on their way, but I just wanted to make sure you're okay and you don't need anything. I can't make it down there." He said, "But I just want to make sure you're okay. And I have to go because I'm blocking both lanes on the expressway, on the highway, so I can't stay. And my wife is in the truck." And I said, I understand. I'm fine. I'll just wait till CHP get here." So he took off. And so when CHP got there, a couple of things, and I got to bring this up. I'm like, I'm in the middle of, I don't know where I am. I think I was like, I had just got into California, I think. And I'm in the middle of nowhere, nothing but sticks. Automatically, I thought I was getting ready to come across two Caucasian racist cops that was going to expect the worst. And when they got out the car, they fit the description. I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to give me hell. Like, what were you doing when you were driving? The two coolest cops in the world, treated me with so much love and respect. He said, "I don't even want to do the drinking test where I do the finger and make you walk." He said, "But I got to because I got somebody with me, but I can tell that you haven't been drinking." And so he was talking to me, trying to figure out what happened. I told him exactly what happened. He said, "I want to tell you something, man." He said, "Listen, did you know where you fell?" I said, "No, where did I?" Like, "Yeah, I know, right here." He said, "No, but do you know what they call this area?" I said, what? They call it Death Valley.
Wow.
I said, what? He said, yeah, they call this area Death Valley. I said, why they call it Death Valley? He said, because you're not the first person that fell right here, and you definitely won't be the last. He said, but the thing is, 95% of the people that fall here don't come back up.
Wow.
And I was like, what? He said, so he said, I'm just surprised that you're out.
Yeah.
We're not pulling a dead body out of this vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I said, wow. He said, you're over here walking around like you're fine. I said, yeah, because I thought I was getting ready to fall 100 feet.
Yeah.
That's why I'm happy. It was only 20 feet.
Yeah.
He said, well, let me tell you something else. And I said, well, what's that? He said, well, 5 seconds before or 5 seconds after, it would have been 200 feet, not 20 feet.
Oh my God.
What?
Wow.
Man.
When I say, I just was in tears.
my
Like,
God.
are you serious?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
when I got in the back of the squad car and we were driving, he said, let's count to 5. And I counted to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He said, look to your right.
And it was nothing.
Nothing, just a pure drop, 200 feet. He says the same way 5 seconds before.
Yeah.
And let me tell you how dope these officers were. I would shout them out, but I don't want to get them in trouble because they called their superior, they called their supervisor, and they said, hey, we don't want to leave him out here, but we want to know, can we take him to the Reno airport? And he said, no, because you have to just drop him somewhere where he can get service and call an Uber, and then Uber come picks him up. He said, all right. And so he was like, because you guys are the 2 only guys that are on patrol tonight, and so if something happens, we want to be able to make sure that you guys are close enough to get to the circumstance. And so he was like, okay, we understand. He hangs up the phone. He said, I know it's 20 miles out of our jurisdiction, but we're taking you to the airport. And they took me to the airport anyway.
Wow.
Right.
The cops was super dope.
Right.
Like super
Right.
dope. Like we talked about Kobe when the Lakers was playing against the Kings in like 03, 04. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like we had great conversation. They graduated the same year I graduated.
Wow.
And so like God just put so much favor, not only just saving my life in that moment, but just giving me favor with those police officers.
Yeah.
And allowing them to like just hear me for who I was and what really happened and taking my word for it.
Yep.
And that was such a beautiful thing, man. And so people ask me like, how do you feel after that situation? Like what you gonna do different? And most people that go through it, they be like, I'm gonna go 10 times harder. I'm not gonna take life for granted.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've been going hard.
Yeah.
I'm working hard as I've ever been in my entire life right now at this moment. So it's like that's not the answer. Like I don't think I can go too much harder. Like I'm pretty sure there's more levels, but like I'm
Is it
putting my best foot
necessary
forward.
though?
Yeah.
Is
You know what I'm
more
saying?
levels
Right.
really necessary?
Right. So that's
Right.
that's not what I take away from
Right.
it. And then my partner's wife, she asked me, she was like, but there's something though. Like there gotta be something. I sat there and it forced me to think like, what am I taking away from this? And what I took away was now I live in a state of expectancy.
What do you mean?
Can you break that down?
Absolutely. Gladly. So now I live in a state of expectancy. So I don't care who you are, but I can talk about me. Me personally, no matter, I've always felt like God has favored me. I've always felt like God has given me favor with man. He's always given me opportunities. He's always blessed my life. He's always given me good health. He's always shifting things in my favor. I felt like I've always had favor with God, right? But regardless of how much favor I've had with God, I've always felt a smidget of doubt. No matter what situation I'm in, no matter how many miracles he's performed for me, I've always had doubt. I've always doubted myself. I've always doubted what I can do, right? Even though I would keep going and I would exceed my expectations, right? But I would always just have enough faith of a mustard seed to get myself through whatever. But after going through this, and I'm like, well, God, you loved me so much that you did the ultimate in saving my life.
Yeah.
You did the ultimate, there's nothing that supersedes that.
Right.
There's nothing that's bigger than that. You see what I'm saying?
Life is priceless.
Life is priceless. And so if you dedicated your time, energy, effort, and put your angels on assignment to make sure that my life was saved in that moment, then there is nothing that I don't have access to.
Wow.
I have zero doubt now.
Right.
When I say I have zero doubt, I promise to God I have zero doubt.
Right.
I have zero doubt. I live in the state of expectancy. Like you saved my life. So whatever I want, whatever it is that you have for me in my divine plan and destiny, I know it's going to be fulfilled. If you said it, you cannot lie. I know that you are going to fulfill everything, every promise that you said to me. And so I'm not going to move around and doubt anymore. because you made the ultimate sacrifice in making sure I didn't die. You made sure that I'm still living. So finances, goals, health, wealth, relationships, opportunities, favor, all that stuff that I say that I want and that I feel like is important that you said that you were going to do, I don't doubt it anymore. I expect things to happen.
Think how powerful that is when you work from that kind of space, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and also you had the
hold on, King.
Oh, okay. Are we coming to a break time?
We are definitely.
I'm sorry, I got carried away, y'all.
Okay.
I need a little break after here.
Right after that. Okay, cool.
We're gonna take a second, y'all.
All right.
We're gonna decompress. We got some music on the way.
Yes,
I'm gonna hold that question.
Yes.
All right, y'all. You're listening to KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland and streaming online at www.kgpc969.org. This is the Anything Can Happen show, and we're going to take a quick music break, y'all.
Good God.
Nice little bomb to drop.
Come
I'm
on.
worn out.
I'm sitting there. I'm in the car with you.
Oh my God.
What's going to happen
I
next?
was like this. It doesn't occur to me that you're here. You're talking about what happened, and I'm like,
Right. Goodness, please don't die.
Don't do it.
Oh my God.
good grief.
Yeah.
Has anybody else been in a bad car accident before? You have.
That was my first one.
Bad car accident.
The one that told me to stop. I told me to stop driving.
Oh, okay. And it was because your eyesight? Yeah.
It was probably in early 2000s. Me and my friends were coming back from San Jose from a fraternity party, right? It's like 1 in the morning. We're coming down 880, doing like 100. This is like Fast and Furious time. So I'm in my Camaro. A Rice Rocket pulls up next to me, and we just going. And it was nobody on the freeway until we got to like 98. And then we start seeing some cars, and I start slowing down. He just like, shoot! He steps on it, hits some loose gravel in the emergency lane, spins out, hits the car right in front of me, explodes like in a movie. Like, because it's fiberglass, everything just poof.
Oh my gosh.
The battery out of his car hits the hood of my car. I'm smashing on the brakes, trying not to hit their car. We're sliding on the freeway. The only thing that happens to my car, I get like a little dent on one side because I clipped them a little bit, and then my tires were bald because I hit the brakes so hard and we were sliding for so far. The other two cars, total.
Yeah.
My boy hits his head on the windshield. He was in the back seat of the Camaro. Like, man, it was intense. And it's the same kind of thing. It's like, we're back to the house.
For me, that was like, I'm glad we took a break. That was like triggering because I've lost how many times I've been in a car accident. I think I've been in about 10. Wow.
Holy crap.
Wow. As recently as December last year.
Wow.
I had a situation like that, a similar God-fixed situation where it was raining like crazy in December.
My son went off the road over. My son on Highway 4 going back towards Martinez. You know how it's big old drop off there? My son, same thing. He was like 5 feet from going off the side of Highway 4. But because it was raining so hard during that time, the mud caught the tires. So it didn't officially go off the side of the cliff. It was 2 of my oldest sons and 3 of their friends in the car.
Wow.
They spun off the Highway 4. I still got the video on my phone. Matter of fact, I'll show you when I'm done. It was the craziest thing. I was like, oh my God. And especially to go pick up your son from something like that.
That's crazy.
You're listening to KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland and streaming online at www.kgpc969.org. This is the Anything Can Happen show with Kenya Asa, Cat Fitness, and our guest host today, Darren from Financial State of Mind. Man, if y'all didn't listen to part 1 of this conversation, we have Brother DeMarvelous from Infinite Audio.
Yeah.
Man, he just dropped so many jewels of what has happened within the last 7 weeks of when we saw him on the first episode of Walk by Faith, Not by Sight.
Right.
We invited him for a part 2, and within the 7 weeks, it's been life-changing moments, one after another.
Yeah.
Not only with his physical health, mental, spiritual, like
all of it.
A total transformation within these last 7 weeks,
goodness.
y'all.
My goodness.
And for the better, though.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, that's terrifying. Let's not minimize the fact that a bad car accident is terrifying, life-changing. And he told the story, ACH fam, he told the story, and it had us all in a chokehold. Okay, because I was sitting up here like I was watching a movie. Like, did he make it? Did he make it? And I'm like, yes, girl, he's right here. He made it. But the bigger thing is that he learned a very, very powerful lesson through that accident. And I was about to ask right before our break, I'm still trying to recover, you guys. Right before our break, I wonder, because I feel like tragic things happen to people, you know, whatever they are, right? I was in a scary car accident one time. I was driving, but I'm going to be honest, I didn't learn a damn thing. Okay, I really didn't. I really didn't. It was a bad accident. I was young, and I just thought to myself, "Oh, you know, glad I had my seatbelt on," you know, that type of thing. And I didn't really have an experience where I allowed. This is the way I feel about what happened to you. That where you allowed kind of spirit to come to you and to tell you something, and then you had your ears open for that and your heart open for that lesson. You know, and I feel like it's one of the things that I'm going to take away from your story is that when things happen to us, and they are bound to happen to us, to open your heart and your mind and allow spirit to give you that lesson and allow yourself to receive it, because the lesson is going to be there.
It is.
The lesson's going to be there. The question is, are you going to be able to receive it? Are you going to be open to it?
You know, that brought me back to me back in 2014, right? So when I had my health scare, when they thought I was having a heart attack, that's how I felt. Like I'm in the bathroom by myself. My kids are asleep in the room. My wife is asleep in the room. And I'm in this bathroom all by myself. And I asked myself the same question essentially that you asked yourself, is like, is this how I go out?
Yeah.
Like, is this how my story ends? Like right here in this bathroom, I'm going to drop dead of a heart attack because I didn't take care of myself. And in that moment, like, you know, a lot, just like it was traumatic, just like your experience, like a lot of emotion going through me, scared, not knowing what was going on. But when I had the realization, like, no, it's not over. Right. And I could look at God and say, man, I have a second go at this.
Yeah.
What does that look like? And knowing that, just like you said, God has kept me here for a reason.
Right.
A bigger reason than whatever I could imagine.
Right.
But I know you're working in my favor because you kept me here. You could have easily took me in that moment. I could be easily dead in that bathroom right now. And my kids are growing up without a father. My wife is a single mother. All these situations. A widow. You know what I'm saying? And no, but I'm here.
Right. And I think people sometimes feel like they need to know why. They need to know the purpose. And I personally feel like you don't. I feel like sometimes that's above us.
Yeah.
That, you know, whatever your spiritual beliefs are, is that there is a higher power or the universe or whatever. And they know, you know, and so sometimes you're just on the journey and the answers will come to you in time.
I was just about to say that. Sometimes it just takes some time. Like,
absolutely.
Everybody, one thing I know is that everybody goes through some trauma. Everybody goes through some crazy things. And like I just said off air, I've lost count how many car accidents I've been in. I think I've been in about 10. And I'm only 33. Like, so I was just in a car accident in December where it should have been much worse than it was. And I do believe that there's always something to take away from a tragic situation or a traumatic situation. But like you said, sometimes I think God will always show you or let you know, but it's His time. It's His time. His or her timing.
That's right.
Exactly.
You don't have to understand to just live in your purpose.
Right.
You don't necessarily have to understand everything. And to me, I'm comforted by that. I feel like I don't need to know. It's above my pay grade.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just need to live out my purpose and to listen to the voice within, listen to the voice of God leading me, guiding me. But I don't necessarily have to be like, okay, A, B, C, D, and E.
Right.
You know?
Right. And I think it's all divine timing too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I felt some type of way because I got into a near-death accident and experience, and I didn't have any mind-blowing reasoning or life motto to live by afterwards.
Right.
I just was like, well, God, that happened. And I'm pretty sensitive to the word. I'm pretty sensitive to the spirit speaking to me. You see what I'm saying? So the fact that I wasn't hearing anything, that did kind of bother me a little bit. I'm like, man, I almost died. We ain't gonna talk about this.
Yeah.
We're not gonna talk about this.
I think sometimes that is how He works.
Yeah.
Because have you ever had a situation, I know I have, where you are asking for the guidance, where you're saying, okay, I need you, Lord, to do A, B, C, D, or I need you to do something. And He's like, not today.
Yeah.
Because, and so I've had it, right. I've had a situation where I was like, Lord, I really need help. And then boom, I could feel the weight of whatever it was lifting off of me. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. And then another time I was like, okay, I really need that help. I'm just sitting there waiting la, right? And He's like, no, you're going to have to do this yourself.
Yeah.
I've given you the tools.
Yeah,
figure it out.
But
that's the crazy really quick.
I'm going to go ahead.
I was 50-50. I was trying to avoid, to even get that answer, I was avoiding it too. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to relive that experience over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Thinking about it now makes my stomach drop.
Yep. It was so recent.
It was so recent. Yeah. And so trying to figure out the why. I have take your time, God. We ain't really gonna talk about it, but I do want to know. But if you just want to drop it in my ear while I'm not thinking about it, that'd be appreciated. You see what I'm saying? So half of me really didn't want to know because I had to go through it again and again and again. So a lot of the times, for the first half of the week, I would just stand busy. My household, my wife, and my kids Dad, don't you think you should probably chill for a second? Don't you think you should stop moving around? Don't you think you need to sit still for a minute? And I'm like, no, because if I think, if I sit down for a second, I'm gonna think about it. And there's nothing like when I hit that guardrail and the sound of that guardrail being hit.
My God.
It's like a boom, and it's like a jerk that you get.
I relate to that.
And when that airbag, the lights came on in the car, that airbag came out and it hit me in the face. And
that hurts like hell, doesn't it?
It hurts like hell.
Oh my gosh.
And it stinks too. It smells.
The smell, because it's that powder stuff flying around. But man, I said, did my face hit the windshield?
Yeah.
Because I was like,
your face stings.
Everything, I felt like my nose was broken. I mean, my whole face got just powed by that airbag.
There's such an impact.
Yeah.
And I literally just sat in the car for a second and just looked around did this really just happen?
Yep.
Were you conscious for it the whole time?
I was conscious the whole time.
Wow. That's crazy too.
When the lights came on and I'm looking around and I was just looking at my car, the airbags deployed from the bottom and at the top on the passenger side. I looked at my back seat. This is what tripped me out. My back seat exploded in the middle.
Oh.
Wow. It exploded in the middle.
Yeah.
And everything that was in my trunk was in my car.
Oh, Lord.
Wow.
Was in my car. And my gear shift was completely broken off. How? I don't know. My screen was cracked on my GPS system. I'm just looking around man,
and for you to walk away with virtually no scratch, I can't see. I wouldn't never guess.
I am 100% fine. Yeah. I walked away scot-free, car total. Matter of fact, the insurance just called me the day before. That's why I was on the phone when you walked in. They just called me today. It was like, all right, your car is completely totaled out. So I'm going to process the claim and stuff like that. But it was for me to walk away out of a total vehicle dropping 20 feet out of the air. For me to walk away from that scot-free, like I got a little small bruise right here by the side of that. I am good.
There's a purpose. I mean, that happened to me too. I mean, my car flipped upside down and I climbed out the window because all the windows exploded. And I climbed out somebody was like somebody outside, people started gathering and I was sitting up there like, whoo, Jesus, Lord, I'm alive. Thank you, Jesus. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, the car's on fire. Child, I woke up so fast. I jumped out of I pulled myself out of the car. I tried to open the car door. It wouldn't open. Yeah. So I pulled myself out and scratched up my back with like glass and all this other stuff. But so I was in a lot of pain. I couldn't even comb my hair. So y'all know what my hair looks like. It was like poof for like the longest. But I had a strap mark.
From the seatbelt?
Uh-huh. Yeah, the doctor was like, did you wear your seatbelt? And I was like, and he's like, never mind.
Yeah. You know what's so interesting to me though? With all that being said, y'all, like the one thing that we have to remember is we've been given this story to share with others for a reason.
That's why I think that's
you know what I'm saying. Like we say why sometimes, and you're like, I haven't got that why, but yet and still you're speaking on it, and you have to speak on it because somebody out there, whether it's on this show, somebody that's close to you in your family circle, whatever the case may be, needed to hear this story, and needed to hear how passionate. You got it. Passionate. Passionate you are about knowing that you had all the faith in the world that God has your back regardless. You know what I'm saying? Some people just need that. And especially during this day and time, a lot of people are going through their own personal issues. We all are, right? But to hear somebody speak so passionate, think about all the stories in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? These are stories just like we all go through our own experiences. We all have our own flaws. And when those stories happen, do we share these stories?
Right. Well, we're lucky that we have a platform where we can have a guest like this and other guests who will come on and tell us not just what happened to them, but the takeaway. From it.
The takeaway is big. Like I told you, because I live in a state of expectancy. Now I have zero doubt. I don't doubt anything. I just feel like it's God's timing. And the police officers, they were looking at me like, dude, you don't understand what just happened to you. Because I was walking around, you know, I'm talking to them and I'm just kind of like, I'm good because in my mind, I saw how far those drops were. So I take 20 over 200 all day. And they're looking at me like, but you do know 20 is still death. Just because it's not 200 feet, 20 is still death. And a motorized vehicle that you're free falling from, that is still death. 95% of the people that fall off right here, they die. And not only do we call this Death Valley for two reasons. A lot of people fall right here. And the second reason, a lot of people bury dead bodies right here.
Whoa!
Yes.
Really?
So if y'all look it up, if y'all on the internet, look it up. It's Mystic is off of Mystic Road. They call it Death Valley. A lot of people hide dead bodies there, and a lot of people die there from a car accident. So the fact that God loves me so much that He rescued me out of Death Valley, how can I live with doubt? Like, how can I live with doubt? Any goal, any financial goal, any opportunity, any favor, any connection, that's baby weight. If God to do that, that's nothing. Like at this point, it's just I'm living in expectancy, man. I'm living in expectancy. I expect prosperous relationships with my family, or my kids, and my friends. Like He continues to show up for me in every single day, man. And so anything that I ever wanted to strive for, and it's not just financial. Like we're talking about health, wealth, and prosperity. We're talking about healthy relationships in the household. We're talking about healthy relationships outside the household. We're talking about opportunities to grow. We're talking about being around certain people that can show you different things and teach you different things about yourself, give you more experiences, more flights. You see what I'm saying? Just more life. So all those things, that's baby weight when you're considering what He did. Will He do those things? Absolutely, because He did the biggest thing. All that stuff is small, and I know what's going to happen.
And think about the space that you have to be in to be able to speak like that.
Yeah.
Like every time, like from you telling us the story to us to telling us what you expect right now in life and knowing how God is working in your favor right now, that's big because not a lot of people get to feel that, that understand that, to believe that.
Yeah.
But to have somebody speak so passionately because that what they've experienced is a game changer.
100%.
Right. Yeah. And I respect you just being able to. One thing we didn't mention is you could have used that. You could have been the other way around. You could have used that excuse, and it could have led you to depression.
Yep.
You could have used that not excuse, sorry, but that situation to slow you down,
which would be very valid.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
We all have to go through our process in order to get to the other side. And for some people, they have to mourn, grieve, experience their fear in their way.
Yeah. What you went through was, I mean, because I've been through car accidents that I felt like I was going to die or potentially seriously hurt. That is traumatizing, brother.
Sure
that is traumatizing.
And with the break, I had to stop myself from crying.
Yep.
Y'all was talking, I had to shut up and just sit here for a second to stop myself from crying.
I saw you taking your moment over there.
I took my moment. This week I was making music and I put the finishing touches on the pop album that we're working on called Energy. And I finished the last record and I just started crying at the end of the record. I just started crying because I'm like, man, like I only had one more record to do to finish this album and it would have been undone. I got people depending on me. You see what I'm saying? Not just my family, but I got people that believe in my vision. I got people believe in us doing something great and give them opportunities that I've been afforded and I've gotten to experience. You see what I'm saying? And so it's like, I just broke down like, man, like I really could not be here right now.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
It's all just, we're all living in just a state of grace. We're just given grace every single day.
Every day.
Because every day something, look at all the things that are happening in this country with active shooters. And so that is that's the thing that I'm the most scared of right now in the world, especially being a parent. And when you hear of people just going to the mall to get a pair of shoes or whatever and never coming home, that's the world that we live in. And so to experience something, any of these tragedies, we're all a little bit traumatized. I feel like every day we're all a little like we've got some fears,
Of course.
Yeah. And then to experience something as terrifying as that, like I can't even imagine. I'm still sitting here like trying to be like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And having a takeaway of people, I could not be here. People are relying on me. This music project that I'm doing could not have gotten done. All of these possibilities that could have happened, but you were very, very blessed to be able to speak about it instead of somebody else having to speak about it. Somebody else coming on this show talking about how you're no longer
here
with us.
Right. The very first thing I did was I took a walk with my girls. I got home the next morning. We went for a beautiful nature walk, because those moments, like as being a father, you really do. A lot of times your kids be talking and you be like, yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's me sometimes. Yes.
Yeah. But now I'm like, say that again.
Right.
Like, what'd you say? Like you just want to hear everything. You want to hear the growth in their mind. You want to hear growth in their speech. Like I was telling him in our last episode was my daughter came to me the other day, and it was a moment where I was completely zoned out. And it was after the accident, and I was just thinking. And my daughter came to me, and this would have been a moment where I'll just be like, yeah, exactly, and just let her do her thing. But she had came up to me and she said, Dad, is everything okay? And I said, I'm fine, baby. I'm good. She said, you're just quiet. I said, no, I'm just sitting here in peace, just thinking. She said, okay. She said, you know what, Dad? I said, what? She said, I want to be rich. I said, I know you tell me every day. She said, but I want to know what I need to do with the money. I said, oh. And I was listening to her and I was still present, but if it was any other day, I wouldn't have heard that. I wouldn't have heard her say, but I want to be rich, but I want to know what to do with it.
So she didn't say, I love this. How old is your daughter?
10.
So she didn't say, I want to know how to get rich. there's some belief in her already that
She's already know she's
going
going
to
to do it.
happen.
Yeah.
She didn't ask you, I want to know how to get there.
Right.
She asked you, she
What do I do
basically
with
said,
all this money that I've already
going
manifested?
to get there.
Right.
I'm
right.
going to get there. What
Right.
I need to know from you is, I need to figure out what to do with it.
A 10-year-old.
Yeah.
A 10-year-old.
But but that is the parenting that you and your wife have done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind, and I was just thankful that I was present enough to hear her say that, because if it was any other day, I would have heard her say, I want to be rich. I'm like, okay, here she is. And then I would have heard, wah, 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 wah. And I wouldn't have been present enough to hear the evolution in her thought and to be grateful. Like, that was a real moment for me. I'm like, man, let's talk. Now, I ain't quiet no more. We got stuff to talk about. And so we had a whole hour conversation right there on the couch. And so
I think that's so interesting. Like, or parenting. Listen up there, Darren, young one.
my girl has a 14-year-old.
Well, yeah, okay, that's right.
And she already gave me. She has straight up told me, I want you to have the talk.
Oh my!
With her 14-year-old.
14. The 14-year-old is gonna be able to teach you. Okay, these kids is a whole different situation. Okay, but yeah, like this morning. So my son, we'll get into these conversations in the morning. This morning we were cleaning the kitchen before I took him to school. Yada yada, and he was talking about some of his schoolmates. And sometimes I'm just like you said, just listening to. And then he said, we were in the kitchen, and he said, I have more to say on this topic when we get in the car, Mom. So and I was like, do you have to have more to say on this topic? So we get in the car, and he's just like, so anyway, Mom, blah, 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 because that's how my kid is.
Mm-hmm.
I drop him off. I said, okay, honey, I'll see you later, whatever. And he gets out of the car. My child's about to be 14. And he goes, okay, Mom, love you. I was like, what did you just say? What words just came out of your mouth? And then he closed the door, and I said, okay, love you too. Which I'm his mother. I always say that. But that child never says that.
Mm-hmm.
Never. I was like, is he speaking another language and it just sounds like I love you, Mom? And I think that's what, and he's a teenager. So like, it's always like, Mom, why are you getting Mom, leave me alone. Mom, don't come to my room. Mom, it's that type of thing. But I do think that when we're in a position to listen to our kids, and they know that not only we have their attention,
Mm-hmm.
we're paying attention to them. That is something that transcends everything else that can be happening in this world.
Yeah.
Every experience that you just had a traumatic experience, survived a traumatic experience. It led you to be alert when it came to your daughter's conversation in a way that maybe prior to that you would not have been as alert to that particular conversation.
Right, 100%. You got it.
So we're actually at the end of the show.
That was fast.
Part 3 coming on, y'all.
Fast.
Part 3.
Yes, part 3.
Part 3.
7 more weeks. Part 3.
Right.
Every 7 weeks.
Every 7 weeks. We got to do a check-in with Brother D-Mar. But before you get out of here, just a couple things. Let us know where we can find you, obviously, for those that want to get more information about Infinite Audio and what you do. But also, one takeaway that you want to give the viewers from just everything that's happened in the last 7 weeks.
Absolutely. So where you guys can find me, my Instagram is like 70% professional, 30% personal, because people still like to know the personal side of me. And I had to get over that actually this year. Like I never like to post personal stuff. And so I got to say this, how much time we got? So have you noticed I've posted every single day on my Instagram stories? You know, I don't post often. So you've been posting those workouts. Yeah, I know. So what's happening? So check this out.
He'll pay attention to that.
Yeah. Check this out. This is what's happening. So what I realize is social media is holding me accountable. Right. So I know I'm eventually gonna have to come outside.
Yeah.
And if all my followers see me working out 44 days, 45 days, 46 days straight, and they see me, they look like shape. I better be in shape.
Right.
I better be in shape. So every time I got ready to make a left, doing this process,
Oh my gosh.
I've been like, nah, I can't do it because I know I got to come outside.
Yeah, weren't you in the gym?
Don't you? If you can work out 45, you're doing something wrong. You know
Oh
what I'm
my
saying?
Lord.
And so, like, social media, posting every day has been holding me accountable. So I love that. So that's why I've been posting on my stories every day. But you can find me. I'm always on Instagram every day. Marvelous_infinite audio. My website is infiniteaudiomusic.com. And then one thing that I can share with the listeners, man, is live a life of expectancy. Like, if you truly have a relationship with God and you truly believe in that relationship, and matter of fact, take time. So let me rewind. A lot of people don't know how to. You would not believe how many people say, "I don't know how to meditate."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of
It's
people
hard
say
for
that.
some people.
Mhm.
It's hard for some
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in meditation right now.
Yeah, like it's crazy, but people don't
Yeah, it's
realize
hard.
how easy it is.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's literally just a conversation with God,
Right.
like a conversation that I'm having with you guys,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So what I do when I meditate is I'll sit in silence. I get up at 4:00 in the morning and I'll sit in silence, sometimes for 5 minutes, sometimes for 10 minutes.
Right.
But I'll sit there and just breathe, and then I'll start my conversation with God,
Right.
and that's my meditation for the day, right?
Mhm.
And so if you truly invest in that relationship with God and you feel him close and you do feel him in your life, live a life of expectancy. Don't live a life of probably, maybe, hopefully. Live a life of expectancy. And so expect the things that you feel like God has spoken over your life. Expect those things to come to pass, because I am this day and every day going forward.
Come on. Woo! Y'all,
Tell it.
that was part 2. So go back, check out part 1, see how we got to part 2, because a part 3 is coming soon.
You know it is.
Yeah,
Hopefully
it
I'll be
is.
down another 20 pounds.
Right. Hopefully.
Another 20 pounds.
No more accidents to
Yeah,
tell. You
yeah,
can tell us
yeah.
another story next time. Okay.
Yes.
I don't. No more accidents.
Yes.
But I'll be down
Please.
another 20 pounds when I come here. So.
And then, what's going to be funny about episode 3, so much more of what God has for you is going to be revealed of what happened that day. So you have a better understanding 7 weeks from now.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna book the next one 7 weeks out.
Yes. Yes.
Y'all gotta
Please
wait
do.
7 weeks for episode 3.
Worth the wait, though.
It'll be
Worth the wait.
You're listening to KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland and streaming online at www.kgpc969.org. This is the Anything Can Happen show with Kenya Asa, your man Cat Fitness, and our guest host, Darren from Financial State of Minds. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and tune in live on our Instagram channel, ach.show, where you can actually conversate with our guests while we're doing our live shows, y'all.
Yeah.
Man, thank you for tuning in once again, and we are going to see you next week. Peace.
God bless.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Woo.
Oh, that was fun.
Man.
That was fun.
And I had no idea about any of that during our recording.
Ah!
I'm kind of low key. And so, what I like, and I'm
Hi,
glad I got it
guys.
recorded, is you explained the conversation with your daughter on mine,
Yeah.
but now we kind of got the full
That's
context
the
why you was like that.
I know he was sitting there like,
What? He walked in.
you left so much out.
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh,
man, but that was crazy. But God bless that you're alive, and I needed that just from when I've been going through this week. I needed that reality check,
Yeah.
and
If you continue this live,
That's-
you won't be able to
I'm
see
just grateful he kept you here. 'Cause I've been actually praying to God. This on for real. I've actually been praying to God. I say, God, I cannot handle another death.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because I've had so much. I had my